You got to get to know the business. And that's the number one piece of advice that I give to anybody.
Welcome to the HR Like a Boss video series. If it resonates with you, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing with a friend. In the description, you'll find a social media link and where to listen to the complete podcast interview. I've embarked on a journey to get to know amazingly awesome HR and business professionals. And these conversations that we have create the foundation for my book on what it takes to do HR like a boss. And on today's episode, I'm super excited to be joined by my friend, Lindsay Raduka. Lindsay is a contact that I had made in Northeast Ohio. And not too long ago, about 5 years ago, she moved down to Florida. In the midst of everything that's been going on in our world, she found herself in a consulting role, which turns out whatever client she has in that consulting role likes her quite a bit because it seems like she may be doing something more formally and permanent with them, which happy for me and those that know Lindsay from Northeast Ohio may have her back in our community more often. So currently living in Tampa. And I originally had met Lindsay through a client that we were working together on and that she was working at. And we also did Disrupt HR together as presenters. So we have that bond and I'm super excited to have her. So Lindsay, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here too.
Do you mind going into a little bit about what you're working on right now, or maybe some of your path and your career throughout HR?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, John. And again, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here. It's been wonderful to stay connected with you over the years and learn from you and follow you. And I still feel like I've got a strong tie back to Northeast Ohio. So a little bit about me. I have worked in human resources for over 15 years. I've spent most of my career in manufacturing industries. Diversified industrial, consumer durable goods, had, really good exposure to that industry. But then most recently, I've worked in some other industries like technology, facilities maintenance, and telecommunications. And have started a bit of a path down the consulting role. So definitely variety of HR. My roles have primarily been division leadership roles where I have worked with organizations and senior leadership teams to really bring transformation to the organization in terms of either cultural transformation or HR transformation. I've been a bit of a moth to a flame to that when it comes to what's excited me about my career. And specialties have been more in the talent management side of things. So just feel blessed to have had a variety of opportunities in the past 15 years.
And I know that was one of the things that made you stand out to me in our interactions, just that concept of driving change, transforming the way we do things, kind of questioning the status quo. And that's really one of the foundations of doing HR like a boss. And I'll get you started as it relates to kind of getting into our topic of discussion, which is what would you describe as the main purpose of human resources?
So it's a great question. It's one that I have been learning and will continue to learn over the years, and not really sure I understood the purpose of HR when I went to school and got my degree in HR, because most people don't have their degrees in HR. I just knew I liked business and I liked people, and I really, had a service affinity. To me, over the years, as I've been exposed to different HR teams, different cultures, different groups of individuals, the purpose of HR is very simple. It is about enabling talent solutions to deliver business outcomes. It's very simple. You can apply that in everything that you do. Really, we in HR, we're the intersection between the business and people. And so when you think about that and how you show up to work every day and how you do your job, I mean, it's really about enabling. And there's the element of keeping the organization out of trouble, right? You have to do that. That's table stakes. There's always some sort of compliance or regulation that needs to be followed, and we're there to help mitigate the issues.
You mentioned in your description of your career, you've worked with a bunch of different industries with a variety of companies, and from consulting to kind of division level HR. I'm just curious as to to how you define that purpose of, I'll use the term that I've trying to simplify this, is connecting people to your business and vice versa, and doing it in a purposeful, meaningful, impactful way. Like, what are some of the barriers that you found that's prevented the organizations that you work with or clients of yours to be able to reach that purpose, that intention of what HR is supposed to be doing?
And to me, the function has traditionally lacked data and insights to inform business decisions, and, and really be held accountable to making a business impact or creating value.
Great. It reminds me of a conversation I had with another colleague of ours that talked about the ability to find your way to a yes, right?
Yes.
Not this is why you can't do it. That's what I think a lot of people expect from HR. You can't do this because, as opposed to, okay, let's talk through, let's brainstorm, let's strategize. Why are you trying to accomplish this? What's the outcome going to be? And how do we find a way to a yes? And maybe you don't end up getting exactly to where they thought in their mind, but maybe it's something better or slight variation of it.
You got to get to know the business. And that's the number one piece of advice that I give to anybody. You have to be curious, right? Understand, how does the business operate? What are those commercial strategies? Just figuring out who do you sell to? Why do your customers buy from you? Why do your customers buy from your competitors? I mean, what are those processes, and how your organization makes money? Like, how do they actually get in order? Once you can start having those conversations, asking those questions, getting those insights about how the operations works, then it turns into, okay, what is the data that I can use from a people standpoint to be able to inform business decisions with people solutions?
Well, you're amazing and awesome, which is kind of a cornerstone of what HR Like a Boss is. So I'm curious to get you out of here on this, Lindsay. How would you describe someone that does HR Like a Boss?
In a few different ways, which I absolutely love your title. I think it's so much fun. But to me, somebody that does HR like a boss is somebody that is a business leader with an eye for talent, that puts people first and delivers value. Like, that's it, hands down. And you mentioned it, to be brave, somebody that has the courage to speak up for doing the right thing. And can also then trust their gut with that, but back it up with data and insights if you got them, right? We've talked about how important that is. HR like a boss is also someone that's insatiably curious. They're coming from that place of seeking to understand, but because they want to make it better. I'm a big supporter of developing people and developing organizations and really helping people maximize their potential. And, you've got to want that for others, right? Like, you're putting others ahead of you. And I think people that do HR like a boss, they're self-aware, they're socially aware like that, and they know how they're showing up and how it impacts others. And they're really mindful of managing that, and having the empathy. I think one last thing to pull it all together is that, somebody that does HR like a boss, they've got the pulse, right? They're seen as a trusted advisor. They've built those relationships. They treat people fairly and consistently, but they also recognize that individual differences make us humans. And that's all about doing the right thing. And really building that amazing culture, building that organization, and building people so that we all can just do our best work and bring our best selves to work.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and I can see why you've done so well in transforming organizations, the way that you look at things. And I really appreciated you being on today's show, and even at the end there, talking about the pulse, your ability to have a kind of feel of what's going on with the organization and the people. And you mentioned before, which I thought was really cool, about helping business people make decisions that are used to using data. Let's find a way to do that from an HR perspective, so that data-driven decision making, the accountability to value, so making sure the things that we're doing are adding value, and if they don't, how do we measure that and hold accountable to change or making it better? That kind of seek first to understand, the asking a lot of questions. I'm a huge proponent of that. It's one of our core values at Willery, as a matter of fact. So we're big. It's a big believer in that. You mentioned this, the fight that inside out mindset. So not necessarily what's best for us, but what's in essence best for the organization and the people that we're serving. a huge curiosity for business and your ability to explain the why, to help people understand why HR is doing the things that it's doing. So you were awesome, as I expected. Thank you, Lindsay, for being on the show, as well as I'm super excited, especially for those that are from Northeast Ohio that know Lindsay, that you'll be back in our beautiful Northeast Ohio area on more occasion than you have been since you left to go down south. But it was super great to have you on the show, and I appreciate you being here.
Thanks, John. It's been a pleasure, and really appreciate you asking me and giving me the opportunity just to have a voice here. I'm really passionate about the progression of HR and people and culture, and love what you're doing. And last thing, go Brownies!
Yes, yes. Let's see if we can keep that going. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx that we're going to make the playoffs. But every time I read on the sports wire, they're talking about adding teams to the playoffs. So I'm like, please just do that. So maybe at least 1 year we can end this streak of just terribleness. That's the only word I can think of right now to describe the Browns for the last 20 years.
It has been discouraging, but guess where the Super Bowl is this year?
I know, yeah. It's on Tampa. Wow, wouldn't that be something?
That would be awesome.
Well, cool. Thanks, Lindsay. And thank you for everyone for checking out today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. Just as a quick reminder, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. And until next time, let's continue to aspire to do amazingly awesome HR.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.